Hello mga katribu. It's Tuesday again and we're on Straight Talk here at the Daily Tribune. So I'm Chito Lozada and
This is Teddy Montolivo.
today we have a special guest. He's the spokesman of the Philippine Coast Guard and he will talk about the issues about the South China Sea. I mean the West Philippine Sea. Our guest is Rear Admiral Armand Balilo, the spokesman of the Philippine Coast Guard. Welcome, Admiral.
Chito, Teddy, magandang umaga. Good morning to all your followers.
Yeah.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's our
Pleasure.
pleasure to talk to you and clear up things about many issues regarding our
Philippine Coast
Philippine
Guard.
Coast Guard.
Okay. Yeah, sir. Well, the first, maybe just a little backgrounder, sir. No. How is the security situation in the West Philippine Sea currently?
If you talk of the security operations in the West Philippine Sea, it's not only the Philippine Coast Guard that is involved. It's the National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea. The approach in the West Philippine Sea is a whole government approach, meaning kasama din po natin dyan yung Armed Forces and Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources and other government agencies to check on and to secure whatever is ours there at saka po yung patrol operations. At the moment, if you're asking about the security situation, I think you are familiar with what's happening right now, and andun ho yung mga barko ng Philippine Coast Guard, and of course, other countries like China and Vietnam ay nandun din po, and we do our patrol. We make our presence felt para din po sa mga fishermen natin, ma-assist po natin silang mabuti.
Okay.
Recently we had a trilateral exercise with Japan and the U.S. So how valuable is this in securing our coastlines?
Well, in the first place, the trilateral exercise is for the interoperability of the three countries.
Yes, sir.
It was done in a manner that it will enhance the skills and knowledge of the participating personnel in terms of search and rescue and law enforcement capabilities. So I think it has nothing to do with, dun sa ongoing dispute with the other countries dun sa West Philippine Sea. But for us sa Coast Guard, we look at it as a more on capability development. So kung merong mang projection na nagagawa itong exercise, it's up to them to appreciate, no? But for us, it's more of capability development.
I see. Okay.
So it's more on
Human resource, to be more exact.
Capability building.
And that was 1 week, isn't it, Admiral?
Yes, magdadalawang linggo na, Chito, yung exercise.
So it's still ongoing.
Is it still ongoing?
It's done already. Tapos na po ito. At na-achieve na natin yung ating mga goals na established dito sa exercise na ito.
So do you think Japan will have a bigger involvement in terms of helping the Coast Guard? Kasi in the previously, it's more of the United States providing assistance.
Hindi, Chito. Matagal nang kapartner ng Philippine Coast Guard yung Japan.
I see.
In fact, 10 multi-role response vessel were acquired because of Japan Coast Guard and through JICA. And at the same time, itong dalawang pinakamalaking barko ng Coast Guard, it was also because of the working of the Japanese government para magkaroon tayo ng magandang asset na pwede nating gamitin sa ating mga operations. And aside from that, they have been here for 15 years, yung mga kanilang mga human resource development personnel, teaching us on law enforcement, search and rescue, and oil spill uh, response. Matagal na po silang tumutulong sa atin pagdating po sa mga pagsasanay. And recently, nung nagkaroon ng oil spill, yung Japan po yung isa sa mga unang bansang nag-respond dun po
Correct,
sa
yes.
panawagan to help us.
I see, okay.
I see. And what what uh, what future assistance do you expect from Japan?
Well,
Oil
we're-
spill is becoming a problem, a usual problem now with the
Yes,
increase
we're working for additional vessels, offshore patrol vessels. Alam nyo, dadalawa at tatlo yung ating offshore patrol vessel that could last for 2-week patrol, no? Yung mga mahahabang patrol. And yun nga yung galing sa Japan na vessel na winork out through the JICA. Yun ang hinihingi nating tulong sa Japanese government that kung sana mabigyan pa tayo ng ganong klase ng barko. And plus of course, kung merong mga military surplus sila, pwede rin naman tayong maging recipient.
Ano yan, sir? Loan o
Loan
ano,
po,
ano
loan,
talaga?
loan. At a very low interest, at saka maganda po yung loan package niya.
Okay.
And these vessels are how do you describe them? Parang cutters, gano'n?
Of course, cutter na po ito. Kung naipakita ko sa inyo, no, it's just an offshore vessel, offshore patrol vessel na mahaba po yung time niya na makapag-stay sa dagat. Hindi katulad po ng ating mga multi-role response vessel na could only last 3-4 days. Ito, paabuti ng 10 to 12 days kaya pong mag-patrol nito ng walang balikan sa shoreline.
Okay. In terms of vessel, in terms of the fleet of the Coast Guard, right now, I mean, is the existing fleet commensurate to, or rather, is it capable of responding to our needs, to the needs of the Coast Guard and what's needed to secure our coastlines, plus other activities that need to be conducted.
You have enough assets.
If you're asking if it is commensurate, I will say no, because we have limited capabilities so far as vessels are concerned. At the moment, we have 26 vessels, but some are old and some are small. And only, as I've said a while ago, there are only 3 offshore patrol vessels that can sustain a 2-week patrol operations. And the mandate of the Philippine Coast Guard is not only at the West Philippine Sea securing our borders, but we're actually involved in a lot of things like protecting the southern border for anti-smuggling, anti-narcotics, human trafficking. These are the things that we are putting our resources in action. And you need vessels to accomplish your goals in doing that. And aside from that, we have the eastern seaboard. Andyan yung Benham Rise that we also need to patrol. And then we also need to patrol the northern Luzon. So what we are doing right now, because realizing that we don't have enough vessels, is to address the problem by proper management of resources. Kung saan may problema, doon natin nilalagay, pinupull out natin from other areas na wala namang masyadong activities, maritime activities, at doon natin nilalagay. And of course, yung everyday na problema natin on search and rescue and oil spill, we also need vessels as platform for those kind of activities.
Considering the coastline of the Philippines, which is among the vast in the world, that three offshore vessels won't be enough, I guess.
I think it's very inadequate. No? That's right. You just mentioned oil spill, sir. That's been done already. I mean, what is this? I think that
Yeah, what?
that has been resolved already. The work of the, well, as far as the work of the
The
role of the PCG.
underwater, Teddy, the underwater removal operations has been completed. I was there last Friday
Mhm.
at the dispositioning vessel Fire Opal, the vessel that was commissioned by the salvage company to conduct underwater cleanup, no?
Yes.
And we were shown off the footages while we're there. Nakababa yung ROV, and then they showed us yung 8 tanks na naka-open na yung mga hatch niya, and then
Mhm.
check on the presence ng oil, at wala na pong nakikita. It's merong mga drips konti, according to the salvage operator.
Mhm.
Ito'y galing doon sa mga pipes na pakonti-konti na lang. But the tanks, as shown to us, lahat po ay empty na, and hopefully wala na po talagang tumagas na langis. Ang ginawa naman po ay nag-iwan ng 2 salvage boats just in case na meron pang hindi nakita o sa ibang tanks na baka maaring tumagas pa. Nag-iwan po ng 2 salvage vessel to conduct containment operation should there be oil na makikita pa po. Of course, hindi natin sinasabi na kumpleto na yung operation, sapagkat when we were flying above the surface, nakita po namin yung mga oil pa na nakakalat sa dagat na anytime will hit the shoreline. Siguro ito yung mga last ng mga nakarang linggo na tumagas bago po nagkaroon ng underwater removal operations. So anytime we'll check with the sa Mindoro po, baka po nandun na yung mga nakakalat pa sa dagat na nakita na.
Sir, can you give us a more or less good estimate about how much was the damage regarding that oil spill case?
Teddy, hindi ko masabi, no? I cannot tell you right now kung gaano na yung damage. We were involved in the removal operations, and the OCD and the DNR were the ones estimating the damage. And we are still to convene within the week para magkaroon ng complete assessment
Briefing.
insofar as kung ano na yung mga damages, kung ano yung mga affected na lugar, so we could finally report to the stakeholders and then probably agree on single data and yung recommendation na kung i-close na natin itong oil spill response operations. When I have that, I will get back to you.
Sir, has the culprit been pinpointed? the main
There's a case
culprit.
already filed to include the Coast Guard and Marina. And it's in I think the DOJ has filed it already, and gumugulong na po yung kaso.
Sino po yung mga involved na nakasuhan?
Well,
ship
as I believe, based dun sa pronouncement ng DOJ, yung may-ari, of course, tapos yung some of the crew, and then the Marina personnel who approved the papers ng vessel, and then Coast Guard personnel who received the Certificate of Public Convenience.
yung charterer, sir, hindi ba would they have any liability regarding this tragedy?
I'm not sure if they are included, no, yung charterer. Yun
Yes,
lang
sir.
yung narinig ko na pinailan ng kaso.
I see. So, the danger is practically over. I mean, yung mga kumakalat na oil, mawawala na talaga yon.
Well,
Totally.
siguro, no, time will heal. yun ang sa oil spill eh. Yung mga natitira pang pakonti-konti, tsaka yung mga kumapit sa mga batuhan, we're trying our best to, alam mo, tanggalin, no? We are employing pressurized water para matanggal yung mancha. Pero as I saw it, talaga pong kahit yung barko namin na ginamit doon, talagang kinapitan ng langis eh. Talagang kailangang linisin. So, yung mga natitira pa, that's what we are going to accomplish in the coming days, yung mga natitirang oil na nandun pa sa mga shoreline na kumapit doon sa mga bato.
Sir, yung Verde Island passage ba naapektuhan? Kasi
It was before, no? Pero agad nakagawa ng containment procedure at hindi na umabot yung maraming oil doon sa Verde Island Passage.
so may naapektuhan yung there are some resources, marine resources na
Very minimal yung nakolekta namin
Minimal
sa
lang.
shoreline.
Aquatic
I see.
life.
So we'll get back to
At this point, no?
yeah,
We have a commercial break at this point, sir.
we'll have a commercial break at this
Then we'll
time.
come back.
We'll come back with the Rear Admiral Balilo.
Nagtitiis ka na lang ba sa e-wallet at lumang bank apps mo?
Struggle! I can't receive payments na.
I need to go to the bank branch to deposit a check pa.
Singilan na. So hassle to do it one by one. I need to send my bank deets again and again.
Tiis no more! With UB, hindi ka na mahahassle, hindi ka na magsistruggle, at hindi ka na magte-travel pa to the bank branch to transact. Ayos? Ayos! Download Union Bank online now.
Nasa kamay mo ang swerte, ngunit hindi ito isang laro na para lang sa iyo. Dahil bukod sa pag-asang maging milyonaryo, ang pagtangkilik mo sa loto at ipapang produkto ng PCSO ay nakakalikom ng pondo para sa mga programang pangkalusugan, tulong at serbisyong medikal at kawang-gawa.
Lahat ng minimithi makakamtan sa PCSO.
We're back here in Straight Talk. I'm Chito and here
And Teddy Mutaliban still.
and we just want to ask Rear Admiral Balilo regarding the modernization efforts of the Coast Guard.
Yes.
What type of equipment will you be introducing in the future, sir?
Well, based on the current challenges that we are facing right now, we have we're thinking of aside from the traditional needs that we have, we have indicated that we need those like ROVs and drones. Okay.
And
Drones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Meantime, our priority would be acquiring vessels and aircrafts, and then we need to have also piers. We need headquarters to house our personnel, and then of course we need radar capabilities. And then sabi ko nga, we're thinking na magkaroon ng ROV kung possible. And kailangan din natin ng drones for law enforcement and maritime domain awareness. So these are the things we are looking at na kailangan naming ma-accomplish para masabi natin meron tayong good capability that will be able to help us accomplish whatever task that will be given to us.
So if you're to prioritize the needs of the Philippine Coast Guard, I mean, essential needs, how would you prioritize? What would be in the top five?
It would still be, Teddy, the vessels.
Vessels.
The vessels would be a priority. We are a seagoing agency, and we need vessels to operate, especially for our districts. Kasi kung wala ka namang floating assets, mahirap eh. Kahit man lang sana hindi naman masyadong malalaki, basta we can respond to emergencies and we can attend to the needs of the security forces na complement yung kanilang mga movements. Yun ang kailangan namin, mga vessels.
Yes.
How many vessels do you think the Coast Guard would need to say that we have enough to cover the entire country?
In the meantime, kailangan namin ng at least, we have 15 Coast Guard districts at the moment.
15.
So plus 4 major units, no? Na kailangan, 3 major units. It's the Marine Environmental Protection Command, the Maritime Safety Service Command, and the Maritime Security and Law Enforcement Command. Siguro magandang kahit may tigi-tigisa lang muna
So
na
that's
the 50-meter vessel that can respond to any kind of emergencies. And sabi ko nga, to support our law enforcement operations, all spill, and safety service operations.
How much would this cost if you're to put them in a budget?
Hindi ko alam Teddy, kung magkano ang magiging budget dito. It is being studied right now. And tapos we're also coordinating whether it should be in, halimbawa kung sa Japan, kung sa France, depende sa capability ng kung anong ilalagay mo dun sa vessel, whether it would be fitted by radars, guns. This would be summed up and tsaka lalabas yung talagang cost niya. At the moment, I cannot answer you that.
What about air assets, sir?
yes, sir.
We also need air assets. As of the moment, we
Helicopters.
only have 2 fixed wing and 2 helicopters na nagagamit namin sa operations. And ang plano ay at least magkaroon ng asset ng air assets sa Mindanao at ganun din sa Visayas.
Visayas, yeah. Oh.
That's a lot of. It's a long wish list. do you get
Medyo mahaba
You're
pa
under
ito.
the DOTR.
DOTR?
Yes, Teddy.
So-
We're under the Department of Transportation. And medyo mahaba pa ito at marami pang kailangang gawin, i-prepare,
Yes,
at kailangan mag-lobby ng fund. Alam naman yun, alam niyo naman we're competing for cash with other departments. And of course, nagmo-modernize din po yung AFP and binabalanse ito ng gobyerno. And sa amin naman, kung ano yung ibigay sa amin, will be appreciated.
Yeah.
Do you get enough budgetary support, sir?
Alam niyo, yun naman ang maganda sa Coast Guard. With the way things are, going on these days, the Coast Guard is everywhere. And ang dami naming ginagawang trabaho at nare-realize naman po ng mga lawmakers na kailangan kaming tulungan at kailangan masustain yung ating mga missions para po, alam nyo na, yung yung ating karagatan ay maraming problema at kailangan po natin ng isang agency na capable na makarespond sa lahat ng mga needs ng maritime activities.
Hindi ba, sir, do you have like a linkage with the private sector, with private groups? Hindi ba, like auxiliaries, don't you have those in some areas?
Yes,
Coast
but
Guard auxiliaries.
pero yung leakage namin sa private sector in terms of assistance in fulfilling our mandate like search and rescue, marine environmental protection, and maritime safety. So, tinatap namin yung resources ng mga private sectors. We call them the Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Coast Guard
Pagka may
auxiliaries.
mga needs kaming katulad ng nasabi ko sa inyo.
I was in Boracay for a while,
Yeah.
and I saw there's a group there that's quite active, coordinating and parang partnering with the Coast Guard. At least in
Yes,
Boracay,
Teddy.
I saw them in Boracay.
These are the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Alam mo,
Coast Guard
itong Coast Guard Auxiliary, pinahihiram tayo ng mga boat, yate,
Yeah.
and sometimes air assets kung meron sila nagagamit po natin. And it's been a good partnership with them. Napakalaking tulong po nila sa atin at they're extending the presence of the Philippine Coast Guard
Yes.
in the areas na wala kami. Sila po yung gumaganap ng tungkulin natin doon sa tatlong functions na sinabi ko sa inyo. Yung environmental protection, search and rescue, tsaka safety.
Do you have that in all over the country?
We have that all over the country.
Private
Sa
sectors,
15
individuals.
districts po, meron lahat. Down to the stations, may mga counterpart po yung ating mga personnel sa Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Yes.
How about yung personnel? Do you have enough, sir?
Well, we are still looking at how many more? 7,000 because this year we are 26,500 and just recently we were given 4,000 allocation from the Department of Budget and Management. Of course, this was approved by the President, Ferdinand Marcos, na mag-recruit pa ng 4,000. So by the end of the year, will be 30,000 already from 8,500 in 2016. So, ganun karami po yung naidagdag na tauhan sa amin and we're still requesting for at least 7,000 for the next years.
So this is 4,000, and in terms of if you divide that in the regions, I mean in the inner districts, which which district needs the most personnel?
Well,
Or
we have
additional personnel?
identified the districts which has a very huge maritime traffic. And of course, we also identified districts which are involved in maritime security operations. For instance,
Mindanao.
Manila, mataas po yung maritime traffic dyan, Batangas, and of course, Cebu, Central Visayas.
Central Visayas.
But we also putting maritime security operations personnel pagdating naman po doon sa South. So, ganun namin ina-arrange yung aming personnel distribution.
Okay. And how intensive is the training of your personnel? Is it comparable to the armed forces?
Opo, it's the same. Kung ano po yung binana namin sa armed forces, the same training po. Yung basic soldiery would be primary consideration. Because during those times na halimbawang nasa bootcamp po, they are being trained to be a disciplined soldier. Kailangan po nilang maging team player, mag-follow ng orders. And then, ang kaibahan lang po with the AFP noon, we specialize on a particular Coast Guard job. Like sa amin po, kung halimbawang ikaw ay marine law enforcement, marine environmental protection personnel, you'll specialize on that particular field. Kung ikaw naman po ay sa law enforcement papunta, you focus on that field also or sa safety service. Plus, yung mga support, command support units like logistics, human resource development, public affairs, meron pong mga personnel na nag-specialize sa ganyan.
Mm. Sir, regarding the yung joint joint patrol with the US, do you think this would kind of help the security of our coastlines, or do you think it would further heat up the situation at the
Dito, first and foremost, parang sa military yung joint patrol, the Coast Guard is not involved
I see.
in the
In the
joint patrol being talked about.
balikatan?
Oo. Sa amin,
US.
moral exercise kami and wala kaming napag-usapang pang-patrol operations.
So walang Coast Guard involvement na.
Ay, nabalikatan.
Wala po. It's all Navy and Navy of the other countries.
I see.
Yung SEAL, is that, what service is that, sir?
What is?
Yung SEAL, di ba we have SEALs?
Sa Navy ata yung
Navy ba yun?
Navy.
Or is that
We
Marine?
have a counterpart Special Operations Group.
Special.
Ang mga founders nito ay mga dating Navy SEALs.
so they're training.
So we have also a
They're
Special
providing
Operations
training
Unit
also.
who conduct anti-terror,
Anti-terrorism. Oo.
anti-terrorism activities.
Sir, napapadalas yung yung mga engagement with China. So nagkakaroon ba ng bigger problem here dun sa
You anticipate.
yeah.
Well, it's been there, no, Chito, kung mapansin nyo, but ngayon lang namin na nilalabas yung mga nangyayari because of the approach of the present government. Pero ang sabi nga ni President Marcos in one of his speeches, we will continue to find ways para mapag-usapan, para ma-resolve yung mga issue. Pero sinasabi rin naman natin na kung merong kailangan gawin ay magpakita rin naman yung Chinese government ng sincerity. Huwag ibuli yung mga barko natin, huwag ibuli yung ating mga huwag iharas yung mga fishermen natin. But ang maganda rito ay pwedeng mag-usap, pwedeng kausapin yung China Coast Guard at alam ko mayroon ng ginagawa yung Department of Foreign Affairs para po we could schedule a meeting with them.
Is this meeting set already? I mean,
Not yet po. It's being vetted by the Department of Foreign Affairs.
but is it
And
going to happen?
pinag-uusapan pang mabuti.
Will it happen?
With China.
Hopefully, it will happen. Nagawa na rin naman po yan before, noong 2018-2019. We have the China-Philippine Coast Guard heads meeting. And hindi na lang po natuloy yung mga ibang meetings pa. And hopefully this...
But hindi po natuloy yung subsequent meetings.
Hindi ko rin po alam kung anong nangyari. It's a decision po ng mga higher authorities, not within the Coast Guard.
Oh, I see.
It must be tough because we have diplomatic relationships. We have diplomatic relations with China. But in the face of aggression or aggressive behavior on their part, I mean, it must be playing a very
Balancing.
this balancing act. I mean, and also because of the superiority of the force, no, China. So I mean, I don't know how the Coast Guard is. I don't know what kind of instructions you're getting from above or from your superiors, or I don't know what kind of code of conduct are you supposed to adhere to when it comes to the Chinese situation in the West Philippine Sea.
Philippine Sea.
Because I'm sure also you must be getting a lot of feedback from our poor fishermen, from the fishermen who are affected, who are working in that area, in those waters. So I mean, I don't know how.
As this situation changed from the previous engagement like in the
Is there still
previous
harassment?
administration. Yeah.
Are the fishermen harassed still? Or what do they feel about going out to sea and doing their work?
Well, definitely, yung situation has not changed, okay? Kung ano yung inabutan namin over the years ay ganun pa rin po. Merong presence ng China Coast Guard and even
Still
Vietnam Coast Guard. Nandun din po. And we compete for resources. Yung fishing ground, you'll see a lot of Chinese militia, Chinese fishing boat, and you see also Vietnamese fishing boat. Ganun din yung mga fishermen natin. But the point is, we are deploying vessels to make our presence felt in the West Philippine Sea and to assist our fishermen in case they need assistance. Hindi naman din po tayo papayag na halimbawa maharas yung mga fishermen natin at kailangan natin silang tulungan.
Ano po nangyayari doon? Do you still get challenged do sa mga areas na disputed areas? Do you still have the
Yes.
Chinese Coast Guard challenging you?
Yes, we get challenged. We also challenge them. Ganun po yung engagement doon sa area.
Yeah, that's good to know. I mean,
Pero hindi nagkakaroon. Hanggang doon lang. Challenge.
Hindi naman parang kasi tinanong ko nga yung US Coast Guard tsaka Japan Coast Guard kung nandito sila.
Okay.
They also get challenges from the China Coast Guard. At sinasagot lang din naman nila.
So parang ano lang, no? It's one of those things.
Yeah, I don't know whether the Chinese will seriously, inflict. I mean, serious threat. Are they a serious threat? Or is this a show
Yeah,
or a show of
sometimes.
force or something? Or is this a
May
psychological?
water hose eh.
Is this a psychological thing that we're playing? Because we are.
I don't know if they
as I said, we have-
would decide to go on that approach because I'm not in a position, no? Hindi ako nasa position to tell that. But it would be, inimical to their interests, especially if they do that. The world public opinion might be against them. Pero of course, sila yan eh. We would not know
Yes.
what's in their mind.
That's why I think it's a good thing if this bilateral talk would happen, no? I mean, between the Coast Guard and your Chinese counterpart.
Yes, I think that's the department. That's what the Department of Foreign Affairs is working on right now. To sit down together and to you lay your cards on the table.
Yes.
Ang sa amin siguro, we will tell them na ito yung ginagawa nyo. So maganda rin na mapaharap sila at we could ask directly what their actions towards us in the West Philippine Sea.
Sure. What about smuggling? What are the latest issues regarding smuggling? Have there been any serious cases of smuggling that you've encountered in the recent?
We have
past?
been collaborating with the Bureau of Customs on smuggling, particularly in the south. In fact, one of our officers died 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Apparently because of smuggling issues. Like he was very active in dealing with the smugglers. And he was threatened and yun na nga ho at the other day he was gunned down. And
Coast
we are
Guard, a
condemning
Coast Guard
that.
person, Coast Guard.
Coast Guard personnel involved in task force sa aduana. Maraming nahuli ito yung group niya.
Oh.
And unfortunately,
So, parang ginantihan.
the other day it was reported to us that he was gunned down. Based on his investigation, parang sabi may nakapatong na sa ulo niya because of the so many apprehensions that they did in the southern border.
Which particular part?
Zamboanga.
Zamboanga. Okay.
An area where smuggling is.
So is there a case against I mean, do we have the capability to run after smugglers? It seems like the smugglers have a faster sea craft.
We have fast boats. Meron tayong mga panghabol na hindi na katulad noon. And we have a very good intelligence network together with the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the PNP. Talagang pagka pinagsama-sama, marami pong mahuhuli.
Great. Huh?
And recently, may mga accidents sir, regarding vessels. Uh, what actions have PCG, the Coast Guard, taken to, to check on the safety of the vessels being boarded right now?
Dito yung seaworthiness ng vessel would be the task of Marina. Wala kaming hand
Yeah,
dun sa
so,
approval nung pagka binibigyan siya ng franchise at ini-inspect. Ang binibigay lang sa Coast Guard is to check on the documents pagka alis yung mga yan at saka pagka sa passenger may excess passengers na nakasakay at pabababain natin. Other than that, doon sa
dun lang.
pag-approve ng prangkisa, yung seaworthiness, yung Marina po ang nag-approve niyan.
In terms of the number, the compliance, you said a vessel capacity for passengers is so much. I mean, so is it the Coast Guard's responsibility to make sure that it carries only the allowable number of passengers?
Yes, that is our responsibility. So what we're doing, if we see that the vessel is overloaded, we check them. And then after we saw that there's a reason that it's overloaded, pinabababa ho namin yung mga excess passengers and we issue stern warning to the vessel involved.
Is this being done to big commercial vessels and small
Yes,
vessels?
sir. Clearly, for the
passenger?
big commercial vessel, we have no problem with that excess passenger because
Yes.
they have a ticketing system where you can only buy tickets online and face-to-face dun sa mga ticket booths. And they would properly account all the passengers before they leave.
The smaller ones,
Oh,
Let's
yung
say
mga-
The
those,
smaller ones where there are
vessels
no terminals, and sometimes those vessels without clearance to sail. Ito yung mga problematic, we call this colorum vessels.
yeah, so-
Sometimes fishing vessels that during peak season when there are a lot of passengers, they turn into a passenger
Yeah.
boat, no? And the problem with this is wala itong mga safety
yeah.
gears minsan. And yung radio o yung communication would be limited. Kaya pag kami nangyari, medyo nahihirapan tayo sa search and rescue operations.
So, we had
I mean, like there are vessels going, back and forth, Boracay, Katiklan, and all that. And does the Coast Guard strictly enforce the number of passengers in those boats?
Yes.
You're familiar with the ferry,
yeah.
but Katiklan, Boracay ferry.
Yeah, we have very, very strict safety rules in Boracay because, Boracay yan eh.
Premier cruise.
Anything that might happen to, kung merong accident that would happen there,
Yeah,
medyo
it's blown
it
up.
would make a dent do sa tourism natin. So it's not good. So may po instruction ni Admiral Abu, our commandant, hindi lamang sa Boracay, kundi for all
Cebu,
those
Romblon,
tourist spots
yeah.
na maging mahigpit po sa mga safety procedures.
Even Batangas, Mindoro, di ba?
Opo.
I have a friend whose whole family practically died.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, prominent person. His mother-in-law, one of his two sons. It was a long time ago, but they took a ferry or one of these boats that plied Batangas, Mindoro.
So,
Collapsed, overloaded,
yeah.
collapsed, Holy Week or something. So yeah, but
yeah, good insight about the safety of our
But it's good to know that
situation right now.
the Coast Guard is, in spite of your
limitations. Yeah.
not so adequate resources, you're doing your. I mean, we thank you for doing your job.
So,
not
dear
established.
Admiral Balilo, do you have I hope you can give us your parting words as we end the program.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me just assure you that the Coast Guard is doing its best to fulfill our mandate sa lahat po ng trabaho namin. sa safety, sa environment, sa search and rescue, na huwag naman sanang maging trabaho sapagkat pagka may search and rescue, ibig sabihin may aksidente. And we continue to
Yeah,
make our
that's true.
presence, we will continue to make our presence felt sa West Philippine Sea.
Okay, so
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you, Chito. Thank you, Tendi. Maraming salamat po sa trivia.
so once again, that has been the Straight Talk. So watch us again next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
You can see us at Facebook and our web page, the Daily Tribune web page.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
next week, see you
See
again.
you again next week. Yes. Teddy.